So, starting off with the retail segment, we chose to do Shopify and Instagram. So, recently, Shopify and Instagram have merged. So now you can purchase in-app off pictures on Instagram. So this feature has been used for a lot of big retailers, and from big to small. And so, starting with the history of Shopify, it was a traditional online store. It was founded in 2004. It was actually started as a snowboarding shop. And so in 2006, the Shopify that we know today became a thing. It was founded by Tobias Ledke, Daniel Wynand, and Scott Lake. It was started in Ottawa, Canada. Makes sense with the snowboards. And by 2009, Shopify had reached 10 million in net sales. So in 2006, whenever it became the Shopify that we know, they became a platform for other companies to sell off of. So they set that up to allow other companies to come in from all different sizes and use their software to open up their storefronts online. By 2010, they received 7 million in financing from investors, and then by 2011, they received an additional 15 million. And in 2003, Shopify alone had reached $1.6 billion in sales. So what Shopify does with this partnership with Instagram and parent company Facebook, it allows consumers to purchase directly off the app. So you can shop Instagram, and you can go on there on the app, and on post, retailers can set it so they can set links to the shop on their picture. So you click it, and then it pulls up an online shop through the app, so you don't even have to leave the app. And you can set up Facebook galleries for your site, which allows you to capitalize on content that the user generates. So stores can add that in there to just help get more content and reviews and stuff off just social proof through the app. You can also, there's also following buttons on there. So you can, similar through Instagram, so you can follow a certain store, and they can track that and using data analytics just through the Shopify app itself. So Mark Zuckerberg recently announced that there's a new set of features aimed at making Instagram and Facebook a true shopping experience. So instead of having to go off to websites, you can just completely purchase through the app. So how did this disrupt the industry? This was a really big deal. So before, everything had been online, and you have to go, and they'd have links in the bio to go to other stuff. But this just makes it so much easier for consumers to be a one-stop shop for all for a lot of the retail stuff that they need. So this year, in the first quarter, the sales grew by 47% to 470 million just in the first quarter alone. So they did $470 million in sales, and analysts were predicting that they would do 430. So this surpassed their expectations by about 43 million, which is very significant. One of their key metrics for the gross merchandise sold through the app increased by 46% from originally having totally sold $5 billion worth of merchandise to this year selling $17 billion worth of merchandise, which is very significant. So the biggest competitor of this would be Amazon, which Amazon has been everywhere for the past couple of years. They have their own apps, websites, everything, now opening up stores. And now recently Walmart has also gotten into that market with the online app competition with Amazon. And so Facebook is attempting to take advantage of this too. So the way that they're differentiating this is they're becoming a ally to small businesses, which is different than the way that Amazon and Walmart have done it. So that's not how Walmart does it in Amazon. You can get on there and you can sell stuff, but this is a lot easier for small businesses to get verified and be able to sell through Shopify. So some of the issues that have been presented, obviously, Corona dropped sales just all across the board. Through retail was struggling before, and Shopify before the partnership with Instagram also did in-person sales. They would be they'd have a POS and online systems for in-person shops, and that has dropped by about 23% since Corona hit. No, it was more than 23%. And the way that Shopify has helped combat this is making it easier for the retailers to get on and use Shopify through Instagram instead of just in person. So the switch online has been very painless. They made it as painless as possible. Shopify retailers had managed to replace 94% of their store volume with online sales, according to a statement that was put out by the company about a month ago. And another way that they've been trying to help the smaller businesses is they offer a 3-month free trial of their services, just to try to incentivize and make it easier for small businesses to start making money again, and then use their platform and get acquainted to that. So.
Okay, so the other company that we decided to research is IKEA and their augmented reality app that they have called IKEA Place. So, a little bit about IKEA, I'm sure you're very familiar with it. A furniture store that has prices at very low prices for the item that you're receiving. I know as a college student, it's really nice to go to IKEA and purchase things that are less expensive there than they would be at a traditional furniture store. So basically this app, so they've been using 3D graphics for a really long time. So for their catalogs, instead of taking just an actual photo, they'll do a 3D graphic and have it on there. So they've been using Autodesk software, so they can render very realistic photos. And so they got to the point where they really wanted to create an experience to where customers can actually see what their products look like in home instead of having to pick it up, build it, and see how it would look. So they came out with the app called IKEA Place. And so it's an augmented reality app where you can basically scan the room and pick out multiple pieces of furniture to place in that setting. So it's really cool. I mean, looking at it, they have definitely changed. So this launched in the first launch was in September 2017. So with that first launch, they did have some issues. So the first one was it was more pictures and you had to move the objects around to get a certain size. And people were having issues with how to calibrate the app, and it wasn't loading, and the color was off, the size was off. And so they were working with Apple to really come out with a better version of it. And so now they have a 98% accuracy with true life representation of textiles, fabric, lighting, and shadows, which shadows is one thing, especially with furniture. You don't think how it will look in certain lightings. So you can adjust that too with what light you want, which is really cool and interesting. And instead of 2D pictures that you can place in a room like any other traditional app, you can see it 3D. So you can basically, it uses the sensors on your phone to map it directly into that space that you want. So they've worked on loading these items faster, and they don't require any calibration, which is something that customers were complaining about previously. So that's how they've been really trying to manage their issues in the past. Sorry. So with this new update that they have, they also are giving it to Android users, which is something awesome. It's not just Apple. IKEA and Apple have a collaboration together. They work together very head on head. And so they have been partners for a very long time. So being able to bring this to Android is something that's really great for people that have Android apps. So with this new update, they have a bunch of new functions that are added. So one of them is a For You page. So kind of like if you're on a traditional app, things that you have looked at before. So if you're on Instagram or TikTok, it's things that you've seen before that you like. And so it'll show you a stream of inspiration pictures, collections, and product announcements of things that you previously viewed. And so that's really cool for people that aren't really sure what they want. They can take a deeper look and look into that. Multi-placement, which is something so you can pick several different items and put them in one room instead of just one item and having to redo it over again. And you're also able to save these items. So once you know what you like, what color, what angle, all of that jazz, you can save it into your room and you can plan your room, and from there you can go ahead and buy from there. And so a room set, like I said, you can buy if you want just a complete room, and you can see what it looks like from your room, and that's a really great asset too. So how did this disrupt the industry? I think it's really important with furniture shopping. I used to work for home decor at my internship, and it's really hard for people to see what it actually looks like, and the photography is huge. Like making sure that you are portraying exactly what the item is supposed to look like is really big. And so a lot of these pieces, even though they aren't super expensive, it's a hassle to go pick up a giant couch from the store and it's not something that you like. So this allows you to shop for furniture and home decor or different pieces like that in a brand new way. And so it's allowing customers to have a better experience. There are some competitors. I know the Home Edit and some other companies like that have apps similar, but what makes IKEA different is that they are using the sensors in the phone to project a better quality picture and a more realistic picture of how it will look in the house.
Hey! IKEA would like everyone to know about Place, our new augmented reality app. Built on Apple's new AR kit, you can easily place true-to-scale 3D models of IKEA furniture in your place. Scan, browse, select, move, and place. So that could mean less of this. And less of this. And probably more of this. We want to make it easier for people everywhere to imagine a better place. Share this place. And this place. Try Place in your place.
Yes!
So how do you see this new augmented reality furniture technology being utilized?
I think it's definitely very innovative, and I think it's a new way to purchase furniture, and I do think that it is going to be utilized in so many different facets. And I mean, we've already seen it in the apparel industry. People with buying clothes, you can try it on there, you can see how makeup looks on you. So I definitely think that consumers are going to get to the point where they are used to that, and that's what they expect from a company. And if you don't have it, then it's going to be kind of a downfall, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. Have you seen people use this technology already?
I think augmented reality is definitely something that has been popular within the past couple of years. With home furniture and purchasing furniture, I think this is one of the first apps that's really taken off, and that has a reliable way of doing it. I know that other companies and other apps, I guess, are out there, but they're not as reliable and don't have as much quality content and provide the users with new updates, which I
Yeah.
think is something that's really important too, because it's
Yeah.
like it can be bad
Mm-hmm.
and they're doing things to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
So, I mean, for yours too, like how do you think Instagram and Shopify has really been utilized recently?
So obviously, something of yours, it's like very innovative. It just seems
Yeah.
like definitely it would be like the next step of purchasing. Because it went from like just over the course of like retail, went from just doing stuff in stores, and they brought out like mail order catalogs,
Yeah.
and that was like a big thing for a while, like the Sears catalogs and whatever. And then like in the 90s, like in early 2000s, like moved to like online shopping, and then like with Amazon and like that
Mhm.
ordering system, that was a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And then I honestly think that this could be like the next step. Not replacing internet, but like slowly starting to
But honestly,
take up
yeah.
more of the market share. So I think that people will start to catch on to this more. Like I haven't personally used it yet,
Mhm.
but like I go on there and like brands that I follow and like companies that I already buy from are selling on there. So like I think that for me, like this is something that I will start to use.
Yeah. And it's interesting. This past summer, I had an internship and she did all of it through Shopify. And so she got all of her sales from Instagram. And so it was really cool to kind of see the behind the scenes of all of it. And see how the app works and how it correlates with Instagram. I mean, like my Instagram looks nowhere near like hers does on like the behind the scenes with all of the analytics that she sees, and like when people are choosing to buy, like what time are they choosing to buy, all these different things, which I think is interesting. And like seeing it firsthand, I was like, whoa, like this is like legit, like really, really cool stuff. So yeah. I mean, I know we probably already talked about this, but they're like, do you know of anybody else that you think could like probably use this in the future?
Are we talking about
Like Shopify?
Shopify?
Yeah. I mean, like, is there anything else?
So like obviously it's like starting on retail, but I think just as time goes on, like it's already expanded into beauty, but I think more industries will start to use it. And I think it's tough because some industries like haven't taken on social media, and there's certain purchases that like you just won't be able to make over social media that aren't really like as big. But I think with anything that's very like consumer goods, I think that this will start to go to social media.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree. Awesome. Okay, well.
Yeah, so that's our project. I think it's a lot of very innovative stuff. Very
For
cool.
sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely really, like, I learned a lot more, like, a lot of different things that I did not even know existed. So
yeah, so I didn't know the history about
For
either
sure.
of these, and just like how much of like an influence that they've already become.
I'll be very interested to see where these companies go within the next couple of years and what new crazy things come out since then. So yeah.